Right. So, allow me to invite Miss Namrata Jain, who is a counseling psychologist, corporate trainer, and a TEDx speaker, who is the author of the book, if you were here at her stall today, Connect to Reconnect. Let me check. वही है ना? She's the author of the book Connect to Reconnect, 9 Jewels to Mindful Living, and psycho-spiritual coach with over 12 years of experience in the field of mental health and holistic well-being. As the founder of Out Aloud Wellness, she has worked with individuals and organizations around the world to integrate emotional well-being into daily life and workplace culture. She also serves as the lead psychologist at Confirm You Singapore and is one of the 4 investors of an AI/ML psychometric gamified tool that assesses a borrower's intent to repay loans, a unique intersection of psychology and technology. And today we are talking about money and happiness. Are we choosing the wrong currency? Please welcome Ms. Namrata Jain.
Thank you so much, Hitika. I truly appreciate the introduction. And thank you, Chintan, for calling all of us here. It's a pleasure to see so many people on a Sunday morning. Um, I'm not a money person at all, firstly. Money comes second for me. Um, for me, well-being comes first always because that drives money. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit. And more than anything, I think there's a lot of conversation happening. I want you to think today. I want you to look back into your childhood a little bit, okay? And I'm going to put forward some questions. I want you to ponder over them. We raise hands where required. If not, you can always feel free to not raise hands and keep it to yourself, but it's for you to think, okay? The first one is, were finances discussed openly during childhood? I'm sorry, I prefer being down. Were finances discussed openly during childhood? For how many of you finances were discussed openly during childhood? Okay, great. Were your desires as a child, those that involved money, largely unmet? You wanted a toy, but parents probably didn't have. I was in that too. A large family, 4 sisters. एक को दिया तो बाकी सबको देना पड़ेगा. So I was told no often. How did your parents speak of people who were rich? Anyone wants to answer this? Yeah?
So I think that was the thought, and just coming back to the point which we discussed about, right? So while to the first question, we had a lot of, I mean, I will not say scarcity as such, but we didn't had this luxury of seeing the outward. But what I realize is that because in defense, when you are in defense kid or whatever from that background, you are well taken care of for everything, right?
Yeah.
You have pension, you get subsidized rates, and the best part is that every day you are doing a routine which is making you physically fit, right? So you don't really need that kind of money. But like I'm not in that but kind of a role. So that made me to think that I need to have my financial discipline or planning in place from the day one, save or whatever avenues is later. But I think the most important thing was to save. So just to come back to your point,
How did your parents talk about people who were
yes.
rich?
So it was always like seeing the positive side, because anyone who is making money is definitely doing right things. I mean, while you can have some exceptions, but broadly it is like they have really spent their time and energy to kind of better themselves, and that's the reason they are better than the others, and that's why they are making better money.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? How did your parents speak about people who are rich? Yeah.
I think there was just generally I think so. If for some reason I grew up around too many people who were rich, but there was generally the energy that there are some people who are rich but still have honest humility, not pretend humility, and that was respected. Uh, yeah, that was the main thing I remember.
Than this. So I grew up in a family where they said too much money means too much ego, uh, too much of, bringing in troubles in your life. I'm sure I see some of you nodding, but a lot of us have heard that in the background as well. Of course, it's changed over time, but when I was a child, because we lived in a joint family, too much money means too much drama coming in, right? And so the whole idea, the belief system behind money was if I have too much money, it's going to bring in too many things for me to cater to as well. But at the same time, let me finish, I'll come to that, but the questions, I'll finish that. Was education you received around money intellectual, emotional, or spiritual? For how many people it was intellectual? For how many people it was emotional? And for how many people was it spiritual? Fairly few. Okay. What I'm coming to here is that the way you perceive money or the relationship that you have with money right now has a lot to do with the way money was spoken about when you were a child. And I think Lisa touched on your limiting self-beliefs, which is where most of your beliefs are built from 0 to 8 years of age. And that's why they say those are prime years for children. Whatever you feed in them are seeds that you're sowing for them to grow across the 60 to 80 years that they're going to live. And at times when you want to sit by and reflect, if you're facing a challenge, all you need to do is go back and reflect, how did my parents speak about this? Or if you see that you have a certain trait or a certain personality side of you that's creating a challenge for you, you need to go back and check which of my parents had this trait that came across me, or someone who was like a parent figure or a close primary person in your life. Where did that trait really come in from? Very often when I sit with my clients and we have this exercise where we sit and write father's good qualities, not so great qualities or weaknesses, mother's good qualities and a few weaknesses. And then I ask them to circle which of them do you have right now. And you won't believe some of our most weaker sides are things that we've taken from our parents. While they must have evolved and they must have changed across time, but we are probably stuck somewhere to that. And those belief systems today drive, in connection to money, because we are all here talking about money, drive the way you perceive money. How many of you believe that money can buy you happiness? Come on, I'm sure most of us do. Okay? And I can tell you, money definitely can buy you happiness. But like you buy any product, it has an expiry date or it has a date that it can wear off in. That happiness is also temporary for you. Right? How many of us want to be temporarily happy? And how many times are we going to strive to keep making ourselves happy and keep chasing that happiness, only to know that it has an expiry date if I get it through money? So I have a different approach that I'm going to share with you right now. While I talk about the relationship of money in my book a lot more, and where does or how do emotions drive the way we perceive money, I want to bring forward a little different thing today for you to go back with. When it comes to happiness, happiness is a state of mind. Right now in this moment, I want you all to just close your eyes. And while you're sitting here, just check your breath. Just close your eyes and just check with your breath. And I want you to come back to opening your eyes. And if a few of you could tell me, what did you observe? Anyone who wants to share, what did you observe? Yes. No mind, okay. Anyone else? Do I believe all others were thinking, why is she making me do this? Most often, we live in the past and the future. We very rarely live in the present. If in the now I have to ask you, are you feeling happy or sad? You'd be like, I don't know, neither maybe. When I think of something, I feel happy. When I think of something, I feel sad, or I feel irritable, or I feel frustrated. But when I am in the here and now, I feel far more neutral. So if you're somebody who has been grappling with various emotions, your first step is going to be learning to operate from neutral, which is the here and now. And trust me when I say training, that is a training. Because it's very easy for us to be a pendulum. That's what we are taught to do. When we are sitting for food, we are thinking, iske baad kya karna hai? When we are doing, when we are doing something right now, we are thinking about iske baad kya karna hai, next session kab ho raha hai, uska topic kya hai. We are constantly working towards the future. The here and now is what brings in a state of neutrality. And then being able to rise from that neutrality the moment you build a relationship with yourself. In this time, if I'm sitting with myself, how am I feeling? The fact that we are investing in ourselves, doesn't that make us feel good? Yeah? So how about being with yourself, your body, your mind, everything that you do at every point in time brings in automatically a sense of joy, which in turn keeps the state of happiness inside you. Remember, happiness is not something that you can chase. It's something that you can ignite within you through the various emotions that you want to inculcate on a daily basis. Not that sadness is bad, not that anger is bad. They're all emotions, which is energy in motion. They will come and go. But what you want to keep your consistent state is what you will decide. And when you have a consistent state of happiness and you know that anger is coming in and it's going to go, and sadness is coming in and it's going to go, and regret is coming in and it's going to go, you will automatically be able to attract what we all are here for, which is money. Because money comes from your state of mind that you are in, and not just all the effort you make. Of course, the effort counts a lot. But in the background, remember, it's your state of mind that is going to create that money for you. So even though my belief system was money would be bad, I sat down and asked myself, what do I want to be with this money? What's my relationship with this money? And I can tell you I love money. Not because of the luxuries it gives me, but it's because it drives me to utilize my potential, and that's my relationship with myself, where I want to utilize my potential at all times. How do you want money to be in your life so that it can drive you to create that money that you want to create? Which of course then can give you the temporary happiness that you want, but at the same time it's your state of mind that is creating it, so you're not going to move from it at any point. You can always create highs through the luxuries that you want and the desires that you have, but your state of mind will really, really make a huge difference. So with that, I guess I don't have time. I wanted to cover more, but that's it. Do I have time, Hitika? Another 5? Addition 5. Okay, so I'm going to touch on one more part that I wanted to. There are 3 very important pillars, okay, when it comes to happiness. 1 is presence, 2 is gratitude, and 3 is self-development. Remember, your presence in every format matters. Whether it is when you sit with yourself or you sit with others, it really, really matters. Your relationship with money we spoke about, but your relationship with food, for example. Are you present with your food? Most of the times we are not. When you're doing a prayer or you're connecting with universe, whatever spiritual guides you believe in, are you 100% with them or you're thinking about your desires? When you're sitting in nature, are you busy taking pictures or are you really with nature at that time? When you're thinking about money, are you actually working towards that money with the mindset of enjoying what you're doing, which gives you money in return? Or is it just the money that you're chasing? Your presence in everything matters. 2, are you grateful? Are you grateful for what you have? The fact that you have this kind of a space to come speak, to come discuss, to learn more, are you just doing it as a passing thing or is that gratitude? All the little or the more that your family did for you as a child, maybe you didn't have everything, but it still made you who you are today. Are we grateful for that? Are we grateful for the breath that we take at every moment while you're sitting here or from the time you were conceived till the time you're going to die? Are we grateful for that breath that we are taking in? Gratitude is an attitude to have, which is what makes us a person who can live with that state of mind that we are looking for. And lastly, self-development. I believe we are learners, or I would want everybody to believe that we are learners and seekers throughout. There's always something new to learn. There's always something new to do. There's always a new moment that you're living in. And the more that you live each moment as it comes, the more you'll see that there's very little for us to crib about. Because this is the best that we can have in the now. Thank you so much for being with me all throughout in the now. Thank you so much. I can take questions? Okay. One question? Okay, so if there's anybody who has a question. Yes. Yes, you can. So he asked me a question saying that if at all I have, anybody has weaknesses of their parents and they've created self-limiting beliefs, can hypnotherapy help in that? Yes, it can. Hypnotherapy works on your subconscious mind. 90% of what you're living right now is your subconscious mind. Imagine your subconscious mind as a library from the time you were conceived till now. Everything that you have gone through is stored in your subconscious mind. Hypnotherapy works with the subconscious mind to be able to work on whatever you have been through throughout life and then help you come beyond that more at a conscious level. I think that's it.
Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
take
you so
rest of the
much.
questions during the break. I hope everyone is taking the notes, even through the therapy sessions that we are getting here. So, okay. I'm